Cold air continues to rush south all across the central and eastern U.S. In Indiana, our wind chills are now below zero, and they're going to probably stay mostly next to zero or below zero for the next 3 or 4 days. I'm 13 News meteorologist Matt Standridge. We're tracking some snow showers. We're tracking a lot of fronts, and of course we're tracking the colder air. Let's just spend a minute here looking at some of the different fronts and how these different weather systems are kind of impacting each other. Hard not to notice all the snow that's flying around parts of the southeastern Great Lakes and into the northeast. This thing was hauling. This started in Oklahoma on Saturday, and then throughout Sunday just kept pushing eastbound. A quick coating of snow across Kentucky and West Virginia. And as it was passing just to the south of Indiana, we had some snow showers too. Some of them were lake-enhanced snow showers coming in from Lake Michigan, but the heavy snow definitely bypassed Indiana and came right through the West Virginia area, right through the nation's capital, and then into New England and parts of the Northeast. Some heavy snow trying to make its way into New York City, and eventually I think Boston will switch from rain over to some of that snow. So this system is getting out of here, but it also had a front is helping to reinforce some of the cool air. We've had a system farther to the south. That was actually one of the first fronts that was able to just kind of clear on through to start cooling things down all across the central U.S. High pressure trying to move in for the central plains. This is a cold Arctic high for us, and it is bringing a north wind. You've got the clockwise flow bringing more north winds over the Great Lakes, kind of helping to accelerate some of these lake effect snow showers. Indiana's going to be wrapping up here soon, but we'll probably still continue the lake effect snow showers farther up to the north, starting in northern Indiana, really into Michigan. But check out this system. Not doing a lot yet, but this one's going to be a doozy for folks along the Gulf Coast. So here's the setup. All this cold air has pushed to the south and to the east. We've got temperatures now near freezing, getting close to the Gulf Coast, kind of where I'm putting my hand. We've got cold air all the way down here, almost to the Gulf Coast and to the Atlantic coast too, the southeastern Atlantic coast right there. What's going to happen is cold air is still pushing south. Let's keep on going. So, it might be here now, but by tomorrow and Tuesday, it's going to be all the way to the Gulf. This system's going to take advantage of it. It's got to stay away from the high pressure. So what it's going to do, it's going to go the long way around, completely avoiding Indiana. But we're going to have some snow from southeast Texas along the bayous there in towards New Orleans and parts of Louisiana and into parts of southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, Georgia, maybe even parts of the Panhandle of Florida and the Carolinas too. So this is our next weather maker from a national standpoint. But the air is so cold and dry that it's going to go nowhere near Indiana. We've got some scattered showers, snow showers wrapping up throughout your Sunday. I think overnight tonight, the skies are going to clear out, and for your Monday, we're going to have a lot of sun, but it's going to be a chilly sunshine. Now, most of the snow showers are pushing off towards the east. We still have a couple trying to show up on the radar there, even west of Indianapolis, still overall enhanced by Lake Michigan. But we'll be wrapping up these fairly shortly. You can see some of these in parts of eastern Illinois that pop up and then they're starting to fade again. So I think we're about to wrap things up. But we had even a quick kind of dusting in parts, especially you get east of Indianapolis. We've had some more snow showers. We got some snow showers up towards Fort Wayne and South Bend and Elkhart too. All right, cold weather alerts. There are a lot of them. Every single Hoosier is under a cold weather advisory. That starts 7 o'clock for Sunday in the evening, lasts all the way through Wednesday at 10 a.m. It's a good 3-day event for us or so, even a little bit more than that. But we are talking about cold air just lasting here for a while, down to -20 for the wind chills across much of the state, especially for central and northern Indiana, probably down to about -10 to -15 for southern Indiana. But cold weather advisories nonetheless. Cold weather advisories have different thresholds for different parts of the country. We're not necessarily, you can see all the way extended towards Dallas. They're not getting to wind chills -20. They have a different threshold. The bright blue color, this kind of just royal blue almost, very potent to the eye. That's an extreme cold warning. We've got some of them way off to the north. Parts of the Dakotas and northern Minnesota could have some wind chills, -40, -50 at times. Some real cold air is on the way. January is showing some muscle. So we've got cold alerts all the way from the Canadian border to our border with Mexico to the Gulf Coast. This thing is wide reaching. Plus, we have snow alerts too, winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. We've got a winter storm warning for southeast Texas from Houston going to New Orleans. We've got that winter storm warning, winter storm watches all across the south Florida Panhandle under winter storm watches all the way to Savannah, Georgia, and even Myrtle Beach now. You have those winter storm watches. They'll probably be upgraded to either winter weather advisory or winter storm warning because they've got snow on the way, and then a current snow system is coming in through the Northeast, so they've got active alerts. But man, there's a lot of snow to talk about. Just not a lot in Indiana. We're just going to be very, very cold. Here's the snow potential. Check this out. You can see the path of the system we were talking about in the Rockies, how it just kind of swoops like a big old smiley face, painting some good snow there, parts of East Texas. And then New Orleans, Baton Rouge, some good snow for them, Lake Pontchartrain, and then southern coast of Mississippi and Alabama, and then even stretching into Florida, we think as well. We're not exactly sure. Once we get past, let's say Mobile, Alabama, does it go a little bit farther north, does it go a little bit farther south, so this kind of area is still under question. But isn't this crazy? Atlanta may be too far north to get much snow. We'll have to see. There's still questions to the south. We're focused to the north. We're talking just about cold air, so that system completely bypasses us. We really don't have any big snow chances for next week, but look at all this cold air. Current temperatures here Sunday evening, down to -10 for actual air temperatures right across the border. Some negative temperatures now getting into parts of northern Minnesota and parts of North Dakota. Then you turn it over to wind chills. We're feeling it like it's -20 in the Twin Cities. -7 is what it feels like in Indianapolis, and it's just going to get colder and colder as we head into your Monday morning. And now that we've had several rounds of cold, you know, we kind of started late fall, very early winter on the warm side. I mean, our summer was so warm and our fall was really, really warm, kind of impacted our fall leaves. Remember that? The lake water temperatures are really warm, but they are finally starting to ice over. Southern end of Lake Michigan, where you see the pink color, that shows you some lake ice now forming. The Bay of Green Bay now mostly frozen over. You look towards Saginaw Bay there, kind of near the thumb of Michigan, and Lake St. Clair there near Detroit, and a lot of Lake Erie is now freezing over. Lake Erie is usually the first one to freeze because it's really shallow, but the islands, they call them, they're just north of Cedar Point. Those are now frozen over. So the ice is expanding, but there's still a lot of open water, so we can still forecast lake effect snow showers or lake enhanced snow showers across Indiana. We're still open for business, but I do think more ice cover is going to start forming with this cold air outbreak. Sunday evening temperatures in the teens. We're well below freezing. We're going to stay below freezing possibly until Friday or even the weekend. This whole week's going to be below freezing. We're going to get closer to freezing, but for the next 3 days, it is cold. We've got wind chills down to -7 for Indy, -8 there in Purdue. Muncie, nothing. Zero big old goose egg for you at Ball State. 3 in Richmond, -1 in Bloomington. That colder air is coming in. Plus, it's also a factor of the wind. The wind is going to be picking up from the west, too. So gradually, temperatures will continue to drop. And that's why we have that weather impact alert for your Sunday evening all the way through really Wednesday morning, because the wind chills are going to range sometimes just down to -5, which sounds warm compared to the -20 that's possibly headed our way. We really think that comes in Monday morning and Wednesday morning. Those 2 mornings may be some of the coldest, but the actual air temperatures could be below 0 at many times at night and in the early morning. So we're also expecting some school interruptions, possibly some school delays, even for MLK Day. You know, normally that's a school makeup day, but guess what? We need the makeup day because we've had that snow about 2 weeks ago. So we'll have to watch schools. We'll give you those updates as they come in. But definitely just give yourself all the extra layers. You know, if you think you don't need it, just go ahead and bring it. If you don't need it, you can always take it off. Easy. Wind chill forecast for your Monday. Not bad in the afternoon. The winds will die down a little bit. That's some good news. And I think they stay on the lighter side through Tuesday morning. Although Tuesday morning is going to be cold, but the wind won't be so bad. It's in the morning that the wind chill will be the worst. And the winds back off. Temperatures do try to warm up a little bit. I think afternoon highs should get into the upper single digits and maybe in a few teens south and west of Indianapolis. But specifically for wind chills, let's kind of look at a statewide view, right? Some of these temperatures we're forecasting specifically for Indianapolis, but we've got a lot of Hoosiers outside of Indy, right? So we're thinking Monday morning, -20 or possibly colder. -20, maybe -21, maybe even -22. Once you get north of Indy, that includes the Trojans in Newcastle, there for the Hagerstown Tigers, and then all the way to the north, Kokomo, Marion, Tipton, Peru, Fort Wayne, and South Bend. We're kind of on the edge there, Valpo, there towards the region. We're going to be that -20 category. These show you at least what we're probably going to get, -15 across much of central Indiana for Indy, south of Bloomington. Even Lafayette, I do think the wind will start to die down even a little bit by the morning, and so hopefully that'll help out. And then farther south, a little bit warmer, but still very cold, still cold enough to issue those cold weather advisories from the National Weather Service. Here's Tuesday morning. Notice how we kind of push the zones a little bit farther to the north. You know, maybe in Martinsville or Greencastle or even some of the south suburbs of Indianapolis, we may only get down to -10 for the wind chill. I say only -10. That's just comparative to where we've been, but a little bit better, right? And then Wednesday morning, I think the winds will pick up just a touch. And it could also be one of our coldest mornings too. We're kind of working on that forecast, but -20 all the way down to about Greenwood, Shelbyville, Rushville, Connorsville, even parts of Brookville Lake could be down to -24. The wind chill, these aren't actual air temperatures, I'll show you air temperatures in a moment. Still holding on to that -10 to -5 or so once you get towards southern Indiana. We do have the threat for pipes bursting, especially for homes that don't have their pipes well insulated. Usually the threshold across much of the Midwest and the Ohio River Valley is 4 to 6 hours or greater of 20 degrees or colder, and we're hitting that over a course of 3 days. We stayed under 20 all day for your Sunday. We would highly suggest that you go to WTHR.com. We've got a whole blog talking about some different ways that you can try to mitigate this threat, but you may have to be dripping a couple faucets, not all of them, but we have that on our website right now, kind of a whole list there with some advice from plumbers. Depending on what your home is kind of built like and how the pipes are situated and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. But the threat still remains for pipes bursting. We're at kind of a moderate threat across much of Indiana, a little bit higher farther to the south. They're definitely hitting that threshold. And as you go farther south, homes are usually not as insulated as well, or a lot of times you get closer to the Gulf Coast, some of the pipes are exposed, some of these water pipes, because they normally don't get this cold. They're getting some snow and then they'll get maybe a day of really cold air after the snow too. So we've had to extend farther to the south and to the west a little bit for these threats of freezing pipes. So we'll have to watch that closely. Here's a closer look for Indiana, really kind of central Indiana, northern Indiana. Well, in that moderate threat, you know, many homes are going to be okay, but this is the coldest air we think of the season. And so that threat remains. We've been cold like this the past couple of years, and we did have threats, pipes bursting, pipes did burst, and a lot of plumbers were busy. And we think that threat's even higher though once you get farther to the south, because they are not ready for this type of cold. So we'll be watching that closely, but we've got all the details you need to know on our website right now. Here's your 7-day forecast, weather impact alert for your MLK Day. Very cold for Monday. But one thing that we have done for your Sunday evening is bump the temperature up by a degree or two. So that's some good news. A lot of it's kind of due to our snowpack. We lost a lot. The question was, how much were we going to lose? And that was kind of a tough answer to try to figure out. We did lose a lot. There's still some out there, but because the snowpack has been reduced by quite a bit, we think that may actually help our temperature just a touch. If we had a lot more snowpack, I think temperatures will cool off even more, especially when the winds are dying down. And the snowpack's not all that impressive once you get into parts of northern Illinois and parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota. They've been kind of in a little bit of a snow drought recently. All the systems have been avoiding them. And we have to look at those places because that's where the cold air will be rushing down. If it was snowpack up there, the air would at least keep its cold or maybe even get colder in a couple spots. So that's some good news. Still down to -3 for much of central Indiana. I think across the central part of the state, we will have temperatures down to about -1 to -9 or so for your Monday morning. We think Indy is closer to -3. By the afternoon, we're hovering near 10. Some of us get to 10, some of us won't. But wind chills in the morning, -10 down to -20. For your Tuesday, also cold right at -3 or so. About the temperatures be the same, but the wind chill won't be as bad. We think the winds will be dying off just a touch. There is a small chance for a flurry Tuesday afternoon. Not a big snow threat at all. Snow is not the story here. It's really the cold, but maybe -5 to -15 for the wind chills, especially in the morning. And then Wednesday, don't be surprised if we extend this weather impact alert. Days ago, it kind of looked more like it was just Monday and Tuesday, and we'd pull up by our bootstraps and warm up by Wednesday. But Wednesday morning still looks really cold. In fact, it may be our coldest morning technically. I'll have to see on the wind chill too. We're going to go with -10 down to -20 for the morning wind chill, but then south winds are going to really pick up and try to warm us up, 20. But the actual air temperature doesn't get above freezing until maybe Saturday. Thursday could be close. I think some of us south of Indy could get to 32 briefly. But when you're looking at the sky conditions, you know, we're mostly clear for your Tuesday. A couple extra clouds start to build in the next few days. There could be a couple flurries on Saturday, but we don't really have a big system or any kind of winter weather, you know, major storm with snow headed our way here for at least a week. it's just cold. Cold for a few days, and then we'll finally start to warm things back up. Stay warm out there. Make sure you bring your pets in.